know what time it is? Story time. I love story time. Story time is what I do with my daughter every other night. My wife does story time with her the other nights. And more often than not, I am reading something from my daughter's bookshelf. Um, uh, Sweet Dreams Rue or Dr. Seuss's Sleep Book are some of my faves. Those usually put her to sleep pretty effectively. But from time to time, I will tell her stories, um, personal stories. I'll tell her true life stories, my stories. And there truly is no greater pleasure than sharing my experiences with my daughter. I think that um, as parents, sometimes we seem uh, infallible, or you know, children have only been my daughter's been alive 6 years, and she can't quite imagine a world before she was around. So these are the sorts of stories that help her look back further than her own existence. So I think that these personal stories really help enrich her understanding of the world. Um, so I say all of that because as much as I love story time, this isn't a story I would necessarily tell her. So you get the benefit of it, whoever you might be. So I just left the movie theater seeing Dogma for the first time in the theater, um, as part of a 25-year celebration, or um, recollection is a word I'm looking for that I can't quite come up with. Um, and so I was really happy to be able to go. Yes, it is about 9. It started at 9 9 p.m. on a Sunday, and it is a little after 11 as I head home. Yes, I should be sleeping, but this was an opportunity that I did not want to pass up. So, to talk a little bit more about Dogma, um, Dogma was one of my favorite movies growing up, coming out in 1999. I was 15 at the time, and truthfully, I don't know when I first saw Dogma, but I think it was when I was around that age. Maybe, maybe not too far after it had come out. Maybe I was 17, 18 at the time, maybe 2002, 2003. And why I'm able to kind of pinpoint it down with somewhat of accuracy um, is because of this one silly fact. I brought Dogma with me on a youth group trip to a Christian music festival. Um, it's kind of funny and definitely true that I grew up um, in the church, more or less. It was my scene. I didn't quite have a scene, um, but it was kind of a place where I felt comfortable and made friends and had some sort of social life within that realm. And so we would go to this Christian music festival called Kingdom Bound in Darien Lake, New York, not too far from Buffalo or Niagara Falls. And one year, I brought my laptop, which I got as a graduation present after high school. So that's why I'm able to pinpoint the 2002 year. Um, and I remember bringing Dogma on DVD. And so um, we watched the film, and while I feel like some people got a sort of charge out of it, in the should we really be doing this sort of thing in this sort of place. Um, I kind of like how the movie plays with theology and beliefs and kind of, removing the othering, right? It's a movie about um, faith, and it was kind of like, I definitely don't know if it predates deconstruction, um, but the main character certainly is in a process of deconstructing as she lost her faith, somewhere prior to the start of the movie, and throughout the movie she's kind of discussing it. Um, and so by the end of the movie, she kind of doesn't have, like, what's funny is that she doesn't have faith in God in the same way that others do in God's sheer existence. Her faith in God is more about, putting her life and the world and every day forward in God's hands, which, as Christians, people do, but they do so with the understanding that Jesus is at the wheel, or God's at the wheel, as opposed to Bethany, the main character of Dogma, who knows God's at the wheel, or Jesus is at the wheel, and just has to kind of trust that Jesus is going to steer her in the right direction, or so on and so forth. Um, but yeah, so bringing that movie with me on trip to Kingdom Bound was definitely one of those moments in my childhood where I said, "This is cool. I'm cool. This is certainly a cool thing to do." And I don't think it was really seen as cool at the time. Certainly odd and minorly rebellious. Um, the following year, I would bring Akira, the anime movie, which also does have some sort of spirituality at its core and some sort of mechanical deity. It's also just a bizarre movie to bring on a Christian retreat, but um, I certainly do love movies, and loved being able to kind of bring movies and music together on this like random trip to Kingdom Bound. Um, but Dogma, right, is one of those movies that, yes, while it is in the Kevin Smith oeuvre and is, a continuation of uh, his two central characters of Jay and Silent Bob, it's kind of a movie outside of that structure, right? I mean, he's pulling from, longtime collaborators like Ben Affleck and of course Jason Mewes and Jason Lee, who were all in um, Mallrats, and of course Chasing Amy, right? Uh, yeah, all those three people are in both those movies prior to Dogma. So the but the movie is, it's kind of taking these actors, I should say, and putting them into this um, fairly religious action comedy. Like, it's funny, it's not an action movie in the sense that there's fight choreography, but there's quite a bit of butt kicking. And I feel like if someone was to make this movie today, they would incorporate some actual fight choreography because I don't know, that would just be funny to see. Um, But yeah, so that was some reflections on Dogma, a little bit of story time, just about 10 minutes now. So it's all she wrote. If you get the chance to see Dogma, I do recommend it because I think it's very funny and, it's definitely playing with the themes of the Christian church, Catholic Church specifically. All right, car quiet. Yeah, I just, again, highly recommend the movie. Um, all right, that's all. Bye bye.